Hi Bulldog fans, the calendar has turned to November and at Butler University that means it is basketball season, and we're here with another season of the Beth Couture Show on butlersports.com. We're going to talk about the new Bulldogs. They played an exhibition last weekend against Kentucky Wesleyan. We're going to talk to head coach Beth Couture about her exhibition win. We're going to talk about the next week against Marquette and 7 newcomers on the team, 4 freshmen and 3 transfers. A lot of new excitement, a lot of new things, and also a new conference here on Butler Women's Basketball. This is the Beth Couture Show on butlersports.com. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Beth Couture Show on butlersports.com. I'm joined now by the Butler Women's Basketball coach, Beth Couture. Coach, good to see you. Welcome back for season number 2.
Thanks, Josh.
First of all, let's just talk about your new team. You know, you got 7 new players on this team, and last year you were really young too. So you're still young, but you've got some new pieces and you've got some new talent. Just kind of give us your thoughts on the 2012-13 Butler Bulldogs.
Well, just a lot of excitement. You know, with that youth comes a lot of learning right now, but they're just so excited to have Butler uniforms on and playing, and they've been just competitive, Josh. It's the most competitive our practice has been in a few years. They're really competing. We have 11 players that are injury-free and are available to play, and every day I think another one shines. So it's just really good for the coaching staff. We've really enjoyed them. Even though we are young, we do have a lot of players that's got Division I experience. You know, our returning freshmen from last year, all 3 of them played a lot and have a lot of experience, with Hannah starting most of the season and Haley starting a lot. And then we have our 3 transfers, one that played in the Big East, one that played in the Big 12, and then one that played in the A-10. So even though they don't have the experience with us, Josh, they do have Division I experience.
You know, it was pretty evident in practice last season and all the practices that we saw. I mean, you had transfers, Darius McClung, Liz Stratman. I mean, you could tell that they were going to be impact players right away. And then over the summer, you're able to add Taylor Shippers, point guard transfer from Oklahoma State, who has obviously been one of the better players in the team. So just kind of real quick, just talk about those new kids and what they bring to the team.
I'm excited about Taylor. I think she can bring as a point guard a couple of things for us. She's a great shooter with deep range, but people underestimate her passing ability. You know, we can get out and run the break again. She can really hit our posts that run the floor, and we like to do that. And it just seems like we're getting a lot of points right now off of primary as they get to know each other and get used to each other. And then Darius, you know, who's playing right now, she's so crafty in the paint. You know, she's an undersized post player that just finds ways to score. And then she's an inside-outside threat with the 3. Then when we play Northern Kentucky, Liz Stratman will be available, so we're excited about her coming into the mix. But I think when you add our freshmen in with those 3 transfers and then our returning kids, I think offensively we'll be a lot more exciting team.
And you've got the new freshmen in addition to the transfers. You've got 4 freshmen, Katie Brewer, Lexus Murray, Blair Langlois, and Olivia Rencher. Just kind of talk about what you've seen from the new kids.
I feel like we had a great freshman class last year, but I feel like this could become one of the best freshman classes that I have recruited. All of them right now, I'd put them on the floor right now, Josh, and let them play. The point guard, Lexus Murray, she has just been, for us, a big surprise to be ready this quick. And it gives us a different look from Taylor, because Lex is more off the dribble kind of player and more explosive. So I think we give 2 looks there, and we can play them some together. Blair can just shoot the 3 deep. As a freshman, she's pretty good defensively as far as understanding the game. Katie Brewer has a chance to start. You know, she can really score. She's a rebounder, though. You know, in an exhibition game, she had 13 boards, which is unheard of for any time last year, Josh. I didn't pick up the box score and see that. And then Liv Rencher is just a big post player that I think will really help us when we get to the A-10 league conference schedule.
Last Friday, you played an exhibition. It was the first time you really got to see your girls against another team in action. Just kind of talk about what you saw from your team against Kentucky Wesleyan last weekend.
Well, I think it was exactly what I thought in the first 10 minutes. I think everybody was a little nervous. You know, everybody was a little quick with their shots, you know, and the flow, because it's the first time a lot of them had a Butler uniform on. But I thought in the second half is exactly what I expect our team to do. We buckled down and played really good defense. We scored inside and out, which I think is real important. And we ran our offense. We've put some new things in, and our kids really executed. We've been working real hard. But I think what could be the difference for us this year is that we could be a good defending team. And we're not great defenders one-on-one, but they really help each other out, and they buy into that. And if we can continue to grow there, I think that we could. It'll be tough when the ball's going in for us to beat us.
That was head coach Beth Couture. Her team opening the season on Saturday against Marquette in the season opener. We're going to talk about that right after this on the Beth Couture Show on ButlerSports.com. We're here with head coach Beth Couture of the Butler women's basketball program on ButlerSports.com. And Coach, your team playing for real now this Saturday at Marquette. What do we know about Marquette, and kind of give us your thoughts on that game?
Well, Marquette is obviously in the Big East, and they bring everybody back, Josh. They didn't lose anybody, and I think they've added a couple of nice freshmen to their squad. So, I mean, they're a big team. They like to pound it inside. They got a very good inside player returning. So, you know, we're going to have a test. It's going to be a test. I think they're trying to get a sellout up there. It's their only game in November, so they're trying to get their fans in there. I think the atmosphere will be great, but I really believe our kids will be ready to go and perform and compete. And this is game week for us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Our girls will be focused, and I know they'll be ready to go at tip-off. You know,
one goal for you is always, you know, to get into that postseason play and to play beyond the conference tournament. And the last time you played Marquette was the 2009 WNIT, and you went up there. Just kind of give us your thoughts on that game. I mean, Marquette came out on the winning side of that, but you know, you are a little familiar with them a little bit.
Yeah, we you know, we competed that game. We struggled scoring, but that game, I think the pressure hurt them. We put a lot of pressure on them. We did a little pressing, and we got back into the game. I think it ended up being a 5-point game. So I think our outing was good, and I remember that, but there's certainly nobody on our team that remembers that. So it's going to be new to them, and you know, the first road trip, we're going to have to do a good job as a coaching staff to try to keep them as calm as we can. You know, you want them to be anxious, but we're going to have a lot of people going through game day week and game day weekend for the first time. But, you know, Marquette's just strong. You know, they're a strong team. I think it'll be a good test for us to see where we are at this point after going for about a month now.
You know, the top news story of the offseason obviously has been the change in conferences. Mm-hmm. Butler moving from the Horizon League to the Atlantic 10. You know, obviously, probably a step up in competition and mm-hmm. quality of play, and there's more teams. There's 16 teams this year in the Atlantic 10. Just your early thoughts. I mean, we haven't seen any of these teams yet, but just, you know, your thoughts on the new conference and the teams that you're going to be playing.
Well, the word's excitement. I mean, there's so much excitement right now going around with us going to the A10. It is a great women's basketball, traditionally, conference. So we feel very honored to be able to compete in there, and we also feel responsibility to continue to have this conference grow and be one of the best in the nation. So there's a lot of responsibility with that. But Josh, it's just amazing excitement with our recruits, our players, our parents. It's just going to make our program better. You know, you almost feel like, you know, you've changed jobs, but you get to stay where you love, and that's at Butler University, and sell Butler University to young people and hopefully, you know, make them better as they come through and build a championship program.
You know, you're playing, you know, the new conference schedule, obviously. But, you know, taking a look at the schedule for a second, you know, you open at Marquette. You've got Indiana coming to Hinkle Fieldhouse this year. Mm-hmm. Bowling Green is really good. Mm-hmm. And then the A10, just kind of talk about the schedule a little bit.
Yeah, well, we built the schedule thinking we were in the Horizon League, so I'm not sure how I feel about it now. No, I'm just kidding. We're just excited. I mean, to be able to go to Marquette in the first game and then have Indiana come to our place and then continue to play, you know, the rivals right here in our state with Indiana State and Ball State and IUPUI. We just feel really fortunate. And we'll continue to build that schedule like that. I think it's important to prepare your players for their conference schedule, and to do that, we need to play a tough non-league schedule. So we're excited about going to the trip in San Fran over Thanksgiving, and St. Mary's is a really good team that we'll see up there. So, you know, I think the schedule was built very good by our assistant coach to get us prepared, and I think it will prepare us.
That was head coach Beth Couture. Her Bulldogs open this season Saturday at Marquette on November 10th. And our next episode of the Beth Couture Show on ButlerSports.com will be 3 weeks from today on Monday, November 26th. And by then, Butler will have played 6 games, and we will talk about those games. We'll have highlights, and we'll also recap the team's trip to San Francisco, California for Thanksgiving. Coach, as always, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
That was the head coach Beth Couture Show on ButlerSports.com.